Assalamu alaikum. Hello. Welcome to our channel. We are the Muslim Family Adventures. So today I wanted to share a video with you guys. It is a little bit of a secret that I wanted to share with all of you guys. So when we go on our travel and adventures, it's not just fun for us, okay? There's a little bit more to it, and I want to share that aspect. Travel and adventure for us is a form of self-care and self-love and self-expression. So I know that's a lot. So self-care, self-love, and self-expression. And I want to make a separate video for self-expression, because that I think is a topic on its own. What is self-expression and how I'm trying to promote self-expression within my children and through travel and adventuring and all that. But today's video, we're going to focus on self-care. So that's my secret. When we go traveling and we go on adventures, it's not just about, it's not just about fun and excitement and thrill and all of that. There is an aspect of self-care that's embedded in our travels as well. And I'll break it down for you guys. I'm gonna, go down to the start of it and then to, and build all the way up to how travel is the ultimate form of self-care for me and for our family. So let's break it down. So what is self-care? So self-care, this is from the website verywellmind.com, just a Google search. What is self-care? So self-care is a conscious act which one takes in order to promote their own physical, mental, and emotional health. So they have, what are they saying? It's conscious. It's something that's an act, and it's a conscious behavior that promotes your physical, your mental, and your emotional health. So that's self-care for you. So before we dig a little deep into how travel is a form of self-care, we have to first identify that life, this world, is a roller coaster, right? There's ups, there's downs, there's times where you're happy and there's times when you're sad, and there's no constant of I'm going to stay in a state of joy all the time, or I'm going to stay in a state of down all the time. Inshallah, in the hereafter, right? In the hereafter is when we're going to be in a state of joy and bliss at all times. There will be no vain talk. There will be no, bad words or any of that happening. It's going to be a state of bliss at all times. But on this earth and in this life, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. It's like a roller coaster, right? So when there's stress, anxiety, or sad feelings that come up in your life, and this could be, in the world as a whole, it's there's a lot of evils, injustices, and sad things that happen in the world, and then there's the same types of injustices and evils that happen in your personal life as well. So as a result of those sad, constrictive feelings, there's a feeling of constriction that's happening inside of you. You feel constricted, and you don't feel conflict is the opposite of creativity, right? So when there's conflict, it's the opposite of creativity. It's interesting how a lot of scientists say they're on the same spectrum, and when there's conflict, you're going to shut down the creativity. When there's creativity, you're going to shut down the conflict. So it's interesting. This is something that I'm learning as well with you guys, that they're on the same construct or the same mental pathways in the brain. And so when you are in a state of conflict, whether that's from sadness or anxiety or whatever issue is bogging you down, you get that constrictive feeling, right? So you feel, it's almost as if your chest and your heart even feels constrictive, right? And so and that's where self-care comes in. So self-care is there to fix it, to soothe it, to fix your to cause expansiveness, to cause openness. And so for me, the way I like to break it down is the first step is when these, when these stresses happen in life, which is in everybody's life, they happen, you go inward first. So first you go inward and you focus on the self-care rituals such as, bubble baths, and let me break that down. For me, it's spiritual aspects of self-care, and then there's physical aspects of self-care. Spiritual is where you have dua, right? I talked about dua in my previous videos. Dua, prayer, journaling, breathing exercises, meditation, all that. And then there's the physical form of self-care, which is your bubble baths, your facials, going for a walk, spending time with your spouse, those kind of things that that help to get to that road of feeling expansive. And so after, after you do some inner work, and after you go inward and you focus on self-care, and you do your inner work and your deep, like, introspective, like, kind of figure out what's going on, how can I make this better? So how can I improve the situation? And so that's where you have to have a mindset shift to go from, to go from that low feeling to that expansive high feeling. And so, and that's when you consciously work on that, and when you consciously say that I'm going to go from this feeling of constrictiveness to this feeling of expansion, that whole process, I believe, is self-care. And if you do this consistently every single day, and in small ways, you take care of yourself and your physical, your mental, your emotional self, you'll see that these things add up. And so you're able to bounce back from low stresses a little bit quicker than you would have if you don't practice, right? Confidence is what? Confidence is practice. Confidence is doing the same thing over and over again until you feel comfortable at it and you feel great at it. And so there's confidence in your self-care as well. So if you keep practicing self-care every day, a little bit at a time, you'll feel like, hey, I got this. I know how to do I know what self-care is all about. So now that I've identified that there's small level internal things that you have to do for self-care, there's also, to me, the ultimate form of self-care is one of the ultimate forms. I can't say only the ultimate. One of the ultimate forms of self-care is travel. Travel for me and for me brings this expansive feeling, this feeling of freedom and excitement and joy and bliss, and adventure and thrill. And so for me, when I go on these trips, I'm literally releasing all of the life's tensions and stresses and work and kids and career and all of that you worry about, and things that you every day give you a little bit of anxiety or push your limits or whatever. You leave all that behind when you go on these vacations and these travels. For me, it's tapping into that ultimate form of self-care, which is travel and adventure, because it hits all three, right? And I told you guys earlier, self-care is physical, mental, and emotional. And so travel hits all three. When you're going hiking, and when you're going, to go hiking in Puerto Rico, which inshallah is a dream for me as well, hiking in Puerto Rico to go see the waterfalls, you're hitting all three, physical, mental, and emotional. So to me, that's what I'm trying to model to my children, and I'm trying to show my family and my children that to stay in the expansive at as much as possible. So there will be lows in life, but push yourself to go to the expansive. Push yourself to be above, to think big, to dream big, and to keep going into the expansive, and consciously pull yourself out of, anything that's negative or anything that's stressful for you. Pull yourself out and stay in the expansive. And that's what travel is, that exercise for us. And I told you, it's like expanding your container, expanding your brain, expanding your mind. It's that exercise that you're constantly being pulled into the expansive. So now that I've consciously told myself that there's lows in life, and I'm admitting it, and I'm, identifying it, and, I've at that point, when I want to do better or be better, I spiritually and physically, go to these places. And I'm mentioning spirituality because I like to take my spirituality with me when I go to these places. So, you've seen our videos where we're meditating and we're repeating durud, which is like a way to glorify the Prophet, and we're repeating things in the names of God and things like that to in these different places for a reason. It's because I'm trying to teach the kids that this is not only just a physical fun activity to do, but it's also a spiritual experience, and that to me both are combined. I think both are important, and both are combined when we go into our travels and into our adventures and our so earlier I had mentioned that that life is like a roller coaster. I'd like to kind of expand on that and say it's actually not just a roller coaster, because roller coasters go up and down real quick. I'd like to think there is just a range of mountains. So it's constant mountain climbing, and you're going up and down and up and down, and it takes time. The reason I'm saying it's mountains is because roller coasters are quick and they're like that, but I don't think it's like that. I think that a mountain range, it takes time to hike, right? It takes time to get to the top. So every time you're at a low point and you're at a stressful point in your life, take those steps, every time, and take them slow. Like take your time. So every step, enjoy every step that you're taking on that mountain, and take your time, because that inward self reflection that I'm sharing earlier with you guys, it's not something that happens overnight. You can't just quickly shift from stress to happy. It's something that takes time, and it takes a lot of inner work to do, journaling, and talking with family members, or just getting help to get to that state. So yeah, and my other advice to you is every day and every step of that mountain that you're getting to your trip, or whatever you feel is going to feel expansive and wonderful to you, is every day choose to be happy. So every single day be grateful about the little things in life. So whether it's like gardening or journaling or walking or whatever it is that brings you joy and brings you happiness, be grateful for that. Take time to reflect on your walks. Take time to reflect when you're in the ground and you're gardening and your clay is mixing with the earth's clay, and you enjoy those moments, right? That way when you do go on your travels and your adventures, and I've shared this earlier, not everything is going to be exactly the way you've planned. Things go wrong. You'll learn to go with the flow that way. You'll learn that you'll be better equipped because you are grateful, and you show gratitude and gratefulness and happiness and thankfulness every single day. So that positivity will be in your travel as well. So when things don't go your way, or things aren't, flowing the way you have planned, a kid has a tantrum or something goes wrong, it's no big deal. It's no big deal, because you've been practicing this gratitude every single day of your life. So yeah, and that's the kind of thing that I want to share with my children also, that travel is a form of self-care. It is, I think, one of the most ultimate forms of self-care, self-love, and self-expression. Love yourself. When you love yourself, I think that's the ultimate form of self-satisfaction. You love yourself, and travel is your form of self-care, or your form of bettering yourself. And so every trip that we've come back from, I feel like, wow, I learned so much. I learned so much. I took care of myself. And not only that, when you're on the travel and you're in the trip and in the zone, just taking in all the sights, enjoying the birds chirping, feeling the water running through your hands. That's all self-care, right? That's all taking care of yourself and your physical, mental, and emotional self. So yes, that's we hope that as Muslim family adventurers, we constantly remind ourselves, and we hope to remind all of you, that every blessing, be grateful for it, be thankful for it, and travel is a form of self-care. And my next video, I'll be sharing how travel is a form of self-expression, because creativity and all of that comes with that, and how I'm teaching my kids about all of that. So that's going to be in my next video. For now, I just want to share this with you. Happy Saturday. Please subscribe to our channel. We hope to show you travel from a different lens. It's a lot. Travel, I think, an adventure for us is a lot, and it means a lot. It's personal development, it's spirituality, it's physical, sights and adventures and thrills. So it's not just, I think there's many layers to the onion that is travel. There's just many layers to it. There's many aspects to it, and all of them together make every experience fulfilling and beautiful, and memories are created that way. So subscribe to our channel and join our journey. All right, take care, guys. Happy Saturday.